Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to ask question 78 of 2017 to the Honourable Minister for Fisheries. Can the Honourable Minister explain to this House how is the Ministry making the aquaculture sector conducive to investment? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Minister for Fisheries.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Nandala for his question. Madam Speaker, Fiji still imports around $20 million worth of aquaculture products into the country. And through the years, the Ministry has attempted to reduce these imports through incentives to farmers and specific projects to boost production. However, Madam Speaker, further studies has revealed the attempt to uplift standard and the scale of production from subsistence to commercial to be able to meet local demands in the sector. Farmers need capital to sustain these operations. A means to bring about sources of capital into the country other than borrowing from lending institutions has been identified to be a good investment in this sector. Therefore, the Ministry is working to make the sector conducive to investment. Madam Speaker, in addition to the stable political environment we are enjoying presently in Fiji, the Ministry is promoting good governance as a key ingredient to attracting investors to commercial aquaculture and influencing long-term economic growth. Good governance reassures investors that their capital is secure and offers an incentive to further investment. The new aquaculture policy, Madam Speaker, which is almost completed in the National Fisheries Policy, covers these areas, in which government regulates the development of the industry with the aquaculture strategy, and this operationalizes the principle of good governance in this sector. Madam Speaker, the legislative framework compatible with monitoring and enforcement regulations which will ensure environmental sustainability and further support in investment is enshrined in the Aquaculture Bill of 2016, which is currently with Parliament after its first reading, which is under the legislative framework for the regulation and development of aquaculture in Fiji. Therefore, Madam Speaker, the passing of this bill will mean a lot to the sector. Madam Speaker, apart from this, the Ministry is currently working with Investment Fiji, Ministry of Environment, FERCA, Biosecurity of Fiji, in providing the right advice and assistance to potential investors. We also facilitate requests for VAT and duty exemption for registered companies who are investing in commercial aquaculture in Fiji. Madam Speaker, continuous research on strain improvement needs for marine shrimp, P. baname and tilapia is ongoing. We've already introduced better performing shrimp strain and currently in the crab company in Naitata and Ravi Ravi farms. We have plans to introduce the newest strain of gift tilapia from Wolfish later in the year to improve hatchery seed supply. An Australian investor, Pacific Coastal Culture Limited, is currently in the process of importing red tilapia to be grown out in our farms with the support of the Ministry. Madam Speaker, we continue to work closely with development partners like the Secretariat of the Pacific Community, SPC, and Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, on capacity building for farmers in the hatchery and grow-out techniques for cultured species. Such incentives, Madam Speaker, further supports the supporting environment for investment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Rokeliraki.
Thank you, Chair. Pole farming is a very important part of the aquaculture industry. Since after tropical cyclone Winston in Sabah, the Hunter Pearl farm was devastated because of the anchorages by the the fishing boats that come into anchor. My question is there any provision in the policy to safeguard these investors, private investors, in terms of the usage of bays and areas to give confidence to investment? Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member for the supplementary questions. Yes, in fact, we have brought in technical expertise. Tomorrow there will be a technical expert from Hawaii on tilapia and prawns flying in. He will be spending a month here to try and assist our local expertise and also investors in this sector.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Ndambulebo.
Madam Speaker, supplementary question. Can the Honourable Ministers brief the House on how is the Ministry planning to sustain this development for a longer term? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member for the supplementary question. The Sustainable Development Agriculture Programme is necessary during the recent interest in this sector. The Ministry will continue its capacity building program both for men and women who are interested in this program with our technical staff and overseas training that we are basically carrying out at this moment.
Thank you. Honourable Ndula Kiberato, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is quite unfortunate that given the climatic and environmental conditions that we have in Fiji, we still have a $20 million import bill on agriculture products. I asked the Minister, what program do you have in place to reduce this bill over time? Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member for his supplementary questions. During the previous few months, we have examined the institution and we found that we have been recently sending a lot of our technical experts from our training institutions here to go aboard for 3 to 4 weeks. Now we have changed our tactic by actually bringing in technical expertise from overseas to be on the ground and actually see the local conditions and teach our technical people here, so they are able to accommodate the necessary work within the local environment and conditions. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Naiko.
Madam Speaker, before I ask this question, I want to acknowledge one person, Justin Hunter, who has single-handedly progressed on the pearl farming industry. And this had started a long time ago. Could the Minister please advise this House what programs are there for those who want to invest in the pearl farming industry?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We're carrying out a lot of extensive work at the very moment, and we are coordinating with overseas and local investors here in the production of pearls, and we are investing the farmers here to actually coordinate and invest in local marine protected areas so that they can actually participate in this in pearl farming. The investors here will actually give out the pearls to the pearl farmers who have MPAs, and then they will buy the pearls back from them.
Thank you. I give the floor to Honourable William Nabonga.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Just want to determine from the Honourable Minister, what area of land would you consider suitable for a village to allocate for this type of scheme? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The sector has two. One is fresh water, and what is the mix of fresh and seawater. The main requirement is the source of water for aquaculture farming. If a village has a good source of water, either fresh water or brackish, then that is the main issue that we look into first. The water is the main issue in trying to establish aquaculture farming.
Thank you.